believe they call it the school to prison pipeline. Are you all familiar with that?
Yeah, that's right.
School to prison pipeline. We actually believe, us that consider ourselves to be waking up, we believe that it is part of the system that is engineered for our failure. It goes deep too. I actually heard that the Dayton Public School Board toured prisons to design the new school buildings. I mean, you make it make sense. I couldn't figure it out.
And that's the reason why we have to know our history. That is the reason why we have to know the truth of what has been done to us. The reason why we go into these schools and we cannot relate, because we go into these schools and we don't see ourselves in math. We don't see ourselves in geometry. We don't see ourselves in history, because they took that away from us. So that's really the reason as to why we can't relate, why our youth can't relate, because they don't see themselves in that. And understand that they want to keep us deprived so we can continue to build up their world. As you know and as you see, and as we continue to be producers for their world, we eliminate our ability to produce and create our own world. So at the end of the day, when we go back and we look, we're not, like our beautiful sister said, they want to keep us into this systematically trained way to keep us indoctrinated. That's why it's so important to know your history. If you knew your history, you was able to go to school and see Marcus Garvey and see all of the greats and see that, man, our ancestors was the one that paved the way. So if they can do it, we can do it. So yes, ma'am.
Ashe, and I'm just going to add one thing to this, just to test you guys, because we talk a lot about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, but how many of you know we had Black Wall Street in Dayton? How many of you know we had over 30 black businesses on 5th Avenue, 5th Street?
They called it the nickel.
So that's what we need to be teaching. We got a lot of history right here in Dayton, a lot of innovation right here in Dayton. I just graduated from Parity's Black Leadership Development Program. And when I learned Charity Adams she was the founder of the Black Leadership Development Program right here in Dayton. I mean, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, you guys. Charity Adams was here.
688. You all familiar with that?
Have you guys seen that yet? Have you guys seen that? So we have a lot to be proud of. We have a lot of energy that's right here. We have a lot of creativity that's right here. So what I'm going to do, in addition to what I already said, and I'm not going to leave my boys out. They're going to work the campaign too, because I know they was wondering, Mom, how come we can't get paid? I was on their list, and I already knew it when I said that. I was on their list. And so, but I'm gonna consult with Parity to see if they might look into coming up with something for our youth, some type of development program, so that you guys also know before you get my age and learn some of these things about Dayton that I didn't even know. And I'm born and raised in Dayton. So stay tuned, because again, this is not just a forum. This is about action. What can we implement that's going to impact you guys and even the people that are coming after you?
All right. So how are we with time?
We're doing good with time. I want to also, after you ask this question, take some questions from the audience.
Excellent. That sounds great. All right. So one final topic, and that topic is the most important, actually, because we have to be healthy in order to be able to execute all of these ideas, dreams, imaginations, and visions. And so, what are your thoughts about health and wellness as it relates to being young? What are your thoughts about health and wellness? Like, do you feel like you've been adequately taught about what to eat, what not to eat, how to work out? You know, do you have adequate exercise, activities in your life? Let's talk about health and wellness. And I think we have one here. You have a, right, one moment.
I feel like that it's not talked about enough. Personally, I just started working out about a year or so ago, and I didn't even know that when I was first doing it, I wasn't even doing it right. I was doing it in a way where you couldn't get those gains that you needed. It's to help yourself to, especially if you want to go into sports or something like that. You really need to know how to train your body well. And like eating wise, there's some things you shouldn't be eating, that like artificial food, stuff like that, and you don't even know what's in the food. Like sometimes there's this whole list of things, and you're just like, what am I looking at? And you don't know what you're eating, what you're putting into your body. I feel like that's not talked about enough. And even like, sure, we might have one class about health, but that's one class. That's one class about all of it. That's one class summarizing our whole life and what we should be doing to keep our bodies and our minds healthy and safe. And I feel like it's definitely not talked about by our teachers, by our counselors, not about maybe the whole district enough. And there needs to be more of those resources that we can go to, and so that we can be more educated and know what to do with our lives as we get older, and even what we want to be when we do.
I feel like there's not a lot of, there's too many standards for what health and wellness should look like, as far as when you search up fitness workouts right now and you won't see a black woman that looks like you, me, her. You won't see any of it. And it's just like, not everybody's fitness and wellness looks skinny. Not everybody's fitness and wellness looks like, we all look differently. So it's like, our fitness and wellness needs to be created for only us and customized. That's what I was looking for, just for us. I feel like, piggyback off of Janaya, it is a lot of standards. Like, you look at our history, and way back when, no butt and big, was popular, and then you look here and it's like, oh, you gotta be slim, thick, you a baddie. Like, it's so many standards, and they always change. And with working out, like, everybody doesn't go into workout with I'm here to better myself, I'm here to get fit for me. They're going into it like, I have to look like this, I have to be like this so I can get this and look good for my boyfriend or look good for him. Like, it's jacked up. And I feel like everybody needs to be nice to each other, and everybody needs to help each other. It needs to be more like sister, brother,
What's your name? Okay. What Ganae said about standards about how your body looks, you see a lot of people on TikTok, Instagram, in the gym, posing with their butt. It looks unhealthy sometimes. Also to the point where some people literally go to the doctor to have surgery just to get their butt done. You're fine the way you are. And also some people don't know how to eat the right way. See, they'll put all these protein chemicals, try to look better and try to make themselves healthy, when, again, what she said, you don't even know what's in there. They could be poisoning you. We don't know what the government's doing. So just eat healthy. Don't, also off the TikTok trends and all that with the food, and it's really concerning. Mukbangs and all that, it's not. So I would just say, go to like a doctor, or make more food at home. Stop going out to eat, because it's very unhealthy. There's grease, I don't even know what's in there. All that. Probably got bugs in the food. You've already eaten bugs. So yeah, just make sure you're cautious of what you're doing to your body and what you're also putting into your body, because you don't know. You don't know.
Okay, little self-promo. YLAG, us too. Our campaign is on body shaming. And so, body positivity, body shaming, Project Brown Girl. If you heard of Project Brown Girl, it's also a branch off of that. And our campaign is basically trying to spread more positivity about different body shapes. Really skinny or really big. Just self-love. Being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable expressing yourself through your body, through your mind, through everything. So,
Thank you so much. All right, audience, you all have some questions? See those hands go up? Hands go up.
Anybody got some questions for the young people? I'll go ahead and start one off. Oh, who we got? Everybody pointing at everybody. Okay. I got to do the Donahue.
Mike Motley. He's been fighting for community for a long time. Brother Mike.
Good afternoon. I'd like to ask a question about Dayton, Ohio, and the opportunities here in the aerospace industry. And have you thought about careers that pay extremely nice salaries? And with Dayton being the so-called birthplace of aviation, I think that this is a area of expertise that the Dayton school system should really be investing ourselves. We don't need more people working at the dollar store, okay? We're talking about career opportunities that 6 months to 2 years at Sinclair or some of the other colleges around the area could start you out with $125,000 a year incomes. And when I think in terms of history, when I think in terms of the future, I see aviation as being a tremendous resource. So I'd just like to introduce the opportunity and what y'all think about careers in aviation.
I think they need to be talked about more because I didn't even know what that was. I had to ask, what's your name? I had to ask Miss Kenya what it was. So I feel like in schools it should be mentioned at least because, you know, some girls, some females and males want to go into that field and they gotta learn from the internet. And they don't have any programs, communities, they don't have anywhere to go to learn more about that. Or they don't have people to talk to that are in that field already. So I feel like it just needs to be more connections, it needs to be talked about more, it needs to be more outlets.
I feel like it needs to be more career exploration and everything because it's not only aviation. Like she just said, Charity Adams was here and like the 6 AAA, and that is like our. I'm sorry, y'all, but that is our like, you know, holy grail of like, oh my gosh. So it's just like not just aviation because we need more of us in those big people's seats. We need more of us to be politics. We need more of us to be in like all these careers because we're letting, you know, other colored people do things for us and we're not all having the same mind. So it's like, you know, we're not all relating to each other. We're not all thinking the same things and it's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of things getting intertwined, mixed up. And it's just like, that can be prevented if some of us was on those boards, if some of us was on those stands, if some of us was sitting in those seats. So I feel like it's not just aviation, but everything in careers. And then it's not a lot of that in Dayton or from Dayton. And it's not, like she said, it's not getting promoted. It's not getting talked about. Like you said, we don't need no more dollar store workers. We got enough of them. We got enough of them. It's just like we need more, you know?
I definitely do think that there should be more programs. I went to one this summer, and it taught me a lot about an aviation that I definitely did not know about. Experiencing that, it was something I feel like that should be like programs that should be offered during school, because going there weren't a lot of people my color, especially black women. There was only about 3 of us out of the 44. So I definitely think there should be more programs and things to do with aviation. I mean, not everyone wants to do aviation, but just to also explore, because a lot of people don't know what they want to do. So going to explore and do things is something that we should do and provide at schools.
Something I wanted to say, it's a little bit off track, but it's still on it. It's more about like, so the education you have to get that career, it's so expensive to go to college for that, to have to pay your tuition, just to have to get lessons about it. It's like, it's really the cost that can be so crazy just to learn something you want to do in your life that actually interests you, that's your dream. It's like, I think that cost can really be a huge factor of what you can and what you can't do, to what opportunities and resources are and aren't available to you.
So, and a great question. What I want to do too is add to that, as it relates to what I hope to bring to the school board. As someone who used to work in workforce development with Montgomery County, there's a huge gap when it comes to introducing you guys to a lot of those programs. One of the things that we didn't do a great job of as parents is helping the children understand that entry-level manufacturing times are over, but advanced-level manufacturing is on and popping. Skilled trades is still on and popping. Aerospace, like he said, aviation is still on and popping. And so we tried to get into the schools, but it was so hard to get into the schools. But when I say Sinclair Community College has those programs, but a lot of people sleep on Sinclair. Sinclair is the #1 community college in this country, #1, and it's in our backyard. And they have short-term programming where it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. But in addition to that, you partnering with mentors such as myself, such as Kenya, such as other people I've seen in the audience to understand how to get your education paid for. Because, for example, you can work for Kettering Health Network, and if you're a janitor with Kettering Health Network or a food service worker, guess what? They'll pay for you to become an RN. They'll pay for you to become a physical therapist. They'll pay for you to become a radiologist. So there are employers who will pay for your education when you go and work for them at the entry level, and then they will pay for you to go to school so that you don't have to squander your dreams. That's the education that we have to pass on to you guys. So it's out there, it's available, it's accessible. Let's get it.
All right, we have a question.
I want to commend the group of speakers.
Thank you.
I think you're well-rounded, you're well-spoken, your message is easy to understand, and I agree with everything you've said. There need to be more challenges for you, not only in high school, but way before high school. Don't run away from hard courses. Do not run away from the teachers that demand excellence, because excellence is needed to go forward, okay? I want to commend your leader. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't know she just put me on the spot like that. Ms. Sherelle, I'm with White Lag. Thank you. Ms. Sherelle has been a challenge and a force for young ladies in the community, and I salute her time and time again. I haven't seen her for a while.
Give it up for her. Give it up for her.
But she's a parent of 2 daughters, and she knows what is needed to assist young people. Now, she's not the only resource in the community, but I know this lady, and I know the work she puts in. Before work, after work, on the weekends, in the summer, the trips you've taken across the across the country. So I commend her. And then I heard someone mention the Parity Inc. And I was part of the Parity Inc. mentoring coordinators of that group. I was over at Wilbur Wright for at least 2 years. There are many opportunities in the community, but it's not just the young people that have to advocate for each other. Get your parents on board, get your uncles, your aunts, people who've been in the military. This is not a parade, it's a opportunity. It's not a short-term solution to change the mindsets not only of the students, but of teachers that aren't sure how far to push you. Let your wishes be known. And it's not just going to school and going home and doing a little bit of homework and saying, well, I'm through for the day. I'm through. I'm off for the summer. I'm not going to do anything. If you don't have a job, then get a volunteer opportunity. If you go to church, find a mentor in your church. If you, there are so many opportunities for you to look and learn in a career that is of interest to you. Don't stop looking, don't stop talking to people, and support each other. There's too much bickering between who said what, and my boyfriend and his boyfriend and your girlfriend, and let's show more love between each other.
Ashe.
As you grow up and as you continue your education in life. Thank you.
That was wonderful thoughts. Wonderful thoughts. And young ladies, be the change that you want to see. When those opportunity maps came out in 2015, community members got together and created a short list of what we wanted to see. And that was the beginning of the birth of Gem City Market, a 15,000 square foot store that brings fresh produce and healthy foods to the fingertips of citizens that did not have access to healthy foods. We are the reason why the dollar stores started selling produce. So we are the changes that we wanted to see, and I want you all to be the change you want to see. If it's not here, build it. Build it.
This is actually just to piggyback off of what you're saying, what she's saying. I wanted to just see of the ladies up there, show of hands, those of you that are in school, show your hands, how comfortable do you feel walking up to your teachers and or administrators to say, hey, I want to learn about this? Because that's where it starts. You have to, one thing a mentor taught me is you have to start telling people what you need and say it with meaning, because people will eventually fold. And what you have to do is not only say, I need to learn about this, and if that teacher doesn't move, okay, well, I'm gonna go to the next person. I need to learn about this. And if they don't want to move, don't worry about it. Principal, I need you to figure out, they don't want board members. I need y'all, we want to learn about this. We already know what this is. So be very confident and stand up, say, this is what I want to see. This is what I want. This is what I need. Also, I think as a community and definitely from our young people, one of the biggest things we have to start working on is making sure that we are a voice to our media outlets and not social media. We'll get there first. We'll get there eventually. But we need to start telling our news people, we don't want to keep seeing everything that happens that's wrong. You needed to cut. Why is WHIL not here filming this? Why isn't WTN here? Y'all need to be like, hey, we did something great today, and y'all should have known about that, and we're going to do something else. Y'all need to come see us. Y'all need to start standing up and saying, hey, and if you need people to back you up, say, my community's backing me up. Because I want to be seen. We want to see the good things that we do. We don't want to see about who got, I mean, granted, God rest their souls, it needs to be said because it's a thing, but we also need to make the good just as big a thing as some of the bad that's being shown. So I'm challenging each of you to make sure that whoever it is, don't let Miss Garrison offer you something and you don't follow up and go get that. Because that, to get the check, the fact that she's offering it, I would have did it for free, but I'm just saying. Put yourself out there, make your voice known, make your face known, so people will be like, I remember I saw you on that panel. And then that's how people will start to move and your community will back you up.
I want to say something. I want to say something in regards to when you said going to the teachers. I'm thankful enough to have great bonds with some of my teachers that I have as a senior and going to the school that I am going to now for 3 years. I'm thankful enough that I can go to my history teachers and be like, oh, let's learn about this. And on top of that, we do have different history-based classes. We got Black history. I don't know what they're teaching in there, but hopefully more than they teach on a regular. We got military history. We got all types. So I'm thankful enough to be able to go to my teachers and say, oh, I want to learn this.
And to piggyback off of what she said, you can ask Ms. Sherelle. I'm quick to say something. I don't think we learning the right stuff here. But also, I feel like we need to be able to be go-getters, because if they're not listening to us and they don't want to hear us, then we're going to have to go get it ourselves. I know that if I tell my teacher, like, hey, I want to be taught this, and this, and then they're not teaching it to us, you know, like, even with time, because I understand things take time, but if some time passes and you're not teaching it to me and I just keep on going to these higher levels and I'm still not getting what I asked for in the beginning, at this point, I'm going to go do it myself. I'm going to go learn about it myself. I'm going to go find it myself. If that means I have to climb
every mountain and I have to walk every road, then that's just what's gonna have to happen, because if we need something, we need to get it. I try to tell my community, if the community can't get it right then, I try to tell the people in charge can't get it right then, I'm gonna have to go do it. I'm gonna have to go get it myself. I'm gonna have to reach for it.
Sorry, I want to say something that at first I always felt comfortable about asking for help and asking for what I needed in school. But then I remember I went through a personal experience where I tried to ask for help because I was like, not even help, but I wanted to expand my knowledge. So I'm like, hey, can we do this instead? We did it and I was very happy about it. But then the next thing I know, the next day, another teacher's talking about it, saying she was being disrespectful for asking for more. She shouldn't have been asking her teacher for something else when she was already learning, but we weren't getting that full extent we needed. And my class thanked me for what I did, but then another teacher, let me not even mention he was white, decided to say something that I was doing too much, that I shouldn't have asked for my further learning. But I think that's the change that we need to see.
That's right.
I just have a little comment to expand a little bit about the education and opportunities and how we can help each other. And I have to mention, I'm sorry for that experience for you with a teacher, but I know that that is truth. That happens. I work in the school and I see things, so I understand. I don't know how many of you young ladies were able to get a very small scholarship this summer at University of Dayton. But what I encourage is those who did get one to tell your friends. When you get a scholarship that seems so small, say, why can't my friend go? You know, like advocate for each other. You know, because there's money out there, and sometimes we need to advocate for each other. It was with Law and Leadership, and it was really great, and it can end up being a 4-year scholarship, but I felt like it was very small, and I think anybody who gets little things, like let your friends know and advocate for each other, as well as reach out to your teachers, your community, your churches, your parents, but also look out for each other. You know, we have to do it together. We have to do it together. And young ladies, you did a beautiful job. And I appreciate you guys all being here today.
We have one more question from the audience.
This is my question for the ladies. The question is pertaining to basically education on ownership of business and commerce. All right, because this is where you get truly independence. Let me elaborate a little bit. The job market is a stepping stone.
Can you put the mic a little closer?
Okay, can y'all hear me better? Okay, great. All right, the job market is technically a form of slavery, right? Do a job determine what you wear? Do a job determine what you drive? Do a job determine where you stay? So we have a lack of education on business ownership. And what I mean is the school will teach you how to work for Walmart, but they won't teach you how to own one because they don't want no more competitors. So the name of the game is, if y'all can sit down and put this thing on y'all brain to focus of ownership of business product-wise. And when I say product-wise, for an example, say I want to open up a chicken restaurant and I have to go buy my chicken from a company. Well, if that company go out of business, then my business go out of business because that was my supplier. I should be to have a chicken farm raising the chicken, so that way I can supply my own company with the chicken, and the only person can put me out of business is God. So the question, the stain I want to leave on y'all brain is, I don't believe in y'all schools, but I'm asking, is they teaching about independence of ownership of business? Because that's truly independence. Because if you work a job, if I'm the head man at Walmart and the Waltons decide to close Walmart down today, I'm out of luck. I got to go find another job. So the job is a stepping stone to build what you're doing. But I want you to understand, you can't work a job all your life if you want to have a truly independent, because when that job closes, you close. So what's your intake on that?
What's your name, sir?
My name is David.
Hi, David. Thank you for that. As we do want to promote entrepreneurship and business, one of the downfalls that we find in our community, even right here in Dayton with some businesses that have had multi-million-dollar businesses, is that in addition to knowing how to run a business, you have to know if that is your lane. A lot of people have great ideas for business, but then they want to be the face of the business, and they want to do every aspect of the business, not understanding you need somebody in human resources, you need somebody in doing the back office management, you need employees, you need somebody, you see what I'm saying? Even though we're gonna own businesses, somebody's gonna have to work for your business. Somebody's gonna have to be the cashier. Somebody's gonna have to food prep. Somebody's gonna have to do the logos. You are not gonna be able to do all of it. So I appreciate you saying that, and I'm gonna let them answer, but I don't want everybody's mindset to be everybody need to own a business. Well, we can, but somebody has to work the business, right?
I agree. So that goes to passion and gifts and what purpose, why God put you on this earth.
Absolutely.
So the thing about it is something that you wanted to do as a kid. It's something God put in you. It's not on the outside of you.
Absolutely.
And that thing that's in you, somebody got to be the police, somebody got to be a fireman, but they going to have a passion for that. I'm not talking a passion for that.
Absolutely.
As black people, to build our communities, we got to get into commerce. We got to take control. We gotta have it.
In agreement, sir. I'm just adding
like
context.
That. Thank you.
I'm just adding context.
Our schools are, but they aren't supporting us enough when it comes to entrepreneurship. So I feel like, okay, they tell you how to be in entrepreneurship. They tell you the definition of it. They tell you how to spell it, but they don't tell you how to. They don't tell you how to promote and tell you how to fund it. So it's just, I was like, let's switch. It keeps on going out. But it's just a simple fact of entrepreneurship is, like he said, it has to be a passion. It has to be a calling. It has to be something that we want to do. So why not go to our community to learn about it? If it's in our community, that's where it is. That's where we find it from. That's where its roots are. We can dig them up, replant them. So our schools, okay, they are, but they aren't helping. But I feel like it's more or less the community that's been really like teaching me about entrepreneurship and just, educating me on Black entrepreneurship, especially in our city.
I don't know if it's a piggyback or not, but I also feel like that in the schools, I feel like we shouldn't always have to rely on the schools to learn. I feel like we should be able to go to the adults around us to learn and to get that experience, what is it called? When you go in, thank you. Like internships, shadowing jobs, like I feel like everybody, entrepreneurs who are, at the top, they should be open to having a shadow, having somebody come in who wants to do what they do.
I want to say it kind of goes along with discrimination in the job market or like wealth gaps, because sometimes you want to start something but you don't have the money for it, or sometimes there's so much discrimination in the job market that you can't start it. So you really need that community and that sense around you so that y'all can build it, so that people can really build that up and have that type of foundation for themselves.
Yes, I hope I didn't lose it, but I kind of think that when the brother said what he said, I guess in my mind, I didn't go straight to entrepreneurship. I kind of went to going back to the basics, just with us being able to go back to pulling our resources together and being able to produce from the land and cultivate from the land, which means bringing up our skill sets again. So you may have people that are good and actually running a business, but like my sister said, you have people that we're going to have to be able to, have the other people come in to help with that business. So I think what I got from him, and I kind of got lost, but us being able to go back to understanding how we're come together and pull our resources together. You see, it's so many people out here that probably got all the resources that we may need to come together to build our own community, honestly, if we really knew that. But it's all about knowing what this person or knowing what this person or, oh, you're good at carpentry, you're good at sewing, you're good at this, you're good at that. Okay, let's come together, let's learn this skill, and let's find a way to make money off of that. Or you may be able to go back to see how we're gonna be able to build a distribution from that, because that's the problem. We don't own anything. We don't own anything. So going back to ownership is what I see when the brother said that. I think sometimes society kind of get us in this mode to having to be an entrepreneur, a CEO at a business or stuff like that. That's cool and all, but then again, we're not really going back into our true nature, which our true nature business is the activity of life. So I know I'm not the only one. If you're not being active in life, you feel like you're not being productive. You know, if you're not doing anything productive for yourself, you know, that's not really business. So that's what I kind of got from when the brother said business. I didn't think about entrepreneurship, but we all have that ability to bring our skill sets together. So whatever you're good at, let's come together and see how we can build a production system just off of all the people that's good at this or good at that. So yeah.
So I have, if I can, one last question to close us out. We got 15 minutes. And so my question is, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan said that a nation can rise no higher than the woman. So I wanted to ask you all, can you talk about the family, what you all see about the family, the male-female relationships that we look at in the Black community, which needs real support. And also, if you can talk about women and what women need to be successful at raising children, and that's talking about from going into a relationship, becoming pregnant because we have a high rate of maternal and infant mortality, to raising children.
Support and understanding, because a lot of teenagers, and I can't really speak for women because I'm not there yet, but we go into relationships thinking like, oh, he's gonna understand this struggle, or he's just gonna know, and it's not that all the time. Some men and boys are just, you know, they not there yet. And I feel like the grown men should really take them under their wing and teach them a little something, because it's getting old.
I feel like, so as you enter your teenage years and you start dating, then it's often told by, you know, your elders like, oh, stick to the traditional values, you should always lean on a man. And then it's the same way for the boy, and they tell them like, yeah, you should always, like, don't rely on your girl that much and what you do. I feel like it should be an equal 50-50. I feel like if you see that, you know, your partner isn't giving that whatever percent that you need, you should be able to fill that in. So I feel like as long as it's just an equal representation of, I got you, you got me, I can lean on you, you can lean on me, life would be just peachy, you know, like everything would be cool. So yeah, like I just feel like as long as you can benefit from each other and you give communication, I always say that communication is key, and you actually, you know, like speak your mind and say what you need and make sure that you can let that person know you can give that to them, then I think that it will be able to be at that level.
And not just communication, understanding what's being said.
I feel like also, like, I really like that percentage thing, because I was looking at this percentage thing recently, and it's like, if you can only give 40%, then maybe they should give 60%. Or if they can only give 10%, you should give 90%. Like, really fill in that 100 so that you're not just left there hanging, or you're not all the way at zero, and then you have somebody else sitting there not helping you out when you really need that, when you need that support. And it's like, I feel like there's like traditional values, like a man should be in charge of the house. But I know that all I was growing up was watching my mom make sure that everything happened every day. When we needed what we needed, we got what we needed. Like anytime we needed that. So instead of just one person having control of a household, it should be like equality, equal.
Hold on, why did Rakia pass that mic like she didn't want to touch it? So speaking from a grown woman's perspective, ladies, this is a teaching moment. We're gonna have a teaching moment, young ladies, from what y'all said. So in a relationship, it's 100%, 100%. It's 100%, 100%, not 50-50, 100%, 100%. I'm gonna go over here because I think this mic is messing with the speaker. So there's a lot of misconceptions because of people's misinterpretation, and I'm gonna say the Bible for those of you who might follow the Bible. And I'm gonna use the story of the Proverbs 31 woman, because for some strange reason people think the Proverbs 31 woman was the weaker vessel. But the Proverbs 31 woman was an entrepreneur. She was a mother. She was a wife. She made decisions. She helped lead the home. Y'all need to go back and read that scripture in its proper context. There were a lot of powerful leaders, women leaders in the Bible. They were not homemakers. They weren't just homemakers. And they supported their husband, who respected what they brought to the table. But you have to also follow the order of God's commandment for the husband and the wife, because he tells us to do some things that are hard for us to do as women. He commands a woman, respect your husband, because respect is hard for women to do. But he also tells the husband, love your wife, because love is not as natural for a man as it is for a woman. We are nurturers by heart. It comes natural to us to nurture and to love and to care for somebody more than we care for ourselves. But it doesn't come natural for the man. So God has to tell him, love her better than you love yourself, which means you got to pay attention to how this man sacrificed. Does he sacrifice? Do you see him sacrifice for his community? Do you see him be selfless? If you don't want to be in the relationship with that individual. And if a woman don't respect you, young men, if they don't respect men, and they don't respect people, and they don't respect themselves, you don't want to be in a relationship with that woman. And it's really a partnership. And a lot of things that hurt our community is trauma. It's really childhood trauma, because a lot of grown age men, I'm talking in age, not in maturity, not in emotional intelligence, I'm just saying in age, are still trapped in that little boy mindset from trauma that they have with their own mothers. And they don't know how to nurture and trust a woman to come alongside that knows who she is and that's strong. So what they gonna call you? They gonna call you too much. You angry. You too passionate. You too independent. Why? Because they don't know that you are complete within yourself, and what you're trying to bring to the table is not to hurt or harm, but it's to complement, and vice versa. It's to complement. We should be complimenting each other. There are some days your husband or your spouse is gonna give you 10%. You gotta put in 90. There's some days he gonna come with 50. You gotta come with the other 50. So it's really a balance in the day-to-day thing, and it's a day-to-day decision and choice and sacrifice. And to be honest, a lot of us should not be married. We should just. It's okay to have. If you're gonna have family, it's good for the unit to be together. But if you're not ready for that responsibility, and it is a ministry, it is a huge responsibility when you take someone to be your wife or take someone to be your husband. It's not like a goal that you set. Oh, I'm gonna get married. It's not the American dream. It is really a ministry, and if you're not ready for that, don't do it. I'm telling y'all now, don't do it. Because it has to be done right when you do it, so that you can teach and your children can see that example of what a healthy relationship looks like, and not all this toxicity. So I'll just take that, Brother Muhammad.
All right. Did you all want to say anything else? All right. Well, did you want to say something, Queen?
Just thank y'all for having us. Thank y'all.
Yes, let's give it up for our powerful young women. There we go. right? So let's go ahead and give it up for them. I want to thank you all for sharing what you all had to share. It was powerful. I'm gonna tell you right now, who said that we need to have more panels like this? Somebody said that. You are absolutely right. We need to hear more from our young people. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get the young men, but hopefully we'll be able to get them next time. So with that,
We did fine. We were cool.
she's right though. So thank you all for coming out. And we'll go ahead and adjourn. Assalamu alaikum.